Hey, I'm off onto another adventure. This one I like to classify as backyard adventures. Things that are right in your backyard that maybe you have never known. Hey, I'm Susan and welcome back to my channel, On the Road with Susan. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I live right outside of Pittsburgh, PA. And today we're going to go into Washington County and visit a museum that has been here for over 50 years, and I didn't know anything about it until last night when I was doing some research for something else, and I stumbled upon it and I thought, oh my goodness, I got to go there. It's the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum. So if you know anything about Pittsburgh, you know that the trolleys were a vital part of the downtown Pittsburgh area and some of the outskirting suburbs throughout the 50s and 60s. The last trolleys were put out of service back in the mid to late 60s. And since then, this museum has brought together trolleys. They've restored them. It's going to be an amazing thing, and I'm glad you're coming along with me. So let's get going. So here we are at the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum, if you could see it back there. They just moved into this building. The Washington County Fair is still going on right now, and you can actually take the trolley from here to the fairgrounds. But we're gonna go inside and see what's cooking.
When you first walk into the building, you see a wall of appreciation for all the folks and businesses that donated to make this fabulous museum possible. They have a small movie theater where they play their award-winning Last Chance trolley video, and it goes over the rise and falls of the trolleys and how it affected the Pittsburgh area. And of course, it includes the beloved Fred Rogers, who is from the Latrobe area, and how he incorporated trolleys into his show to connect his communities together. It is well worth watching. It's only about 15 minutes long, and you just don't want to miss it. There is a large open lobby area with a lot of interaction type of displays, as well as a lot of artifacts behind glass encasings. But I looked out the window and I saw the trolley, and I knew I just had to get out there so I could ride the open air trolley. They offer trolley rides to anyone that purchased a ticket, and they run about every 15 minutes, and there are several different trolleys out on the line. I just happened to catch this one as it was pulling up, and I just find this one so fascinating. It is actually was made in Brazil and was in service in Rio de Janeiro. And as you can see, this wood throughout the entire trolley was made from natural hardwood out of Brazil. And they brought it here to the station. You run about a 2-mile track, and it's really just so fascinating. I just really enjoyed this aspect of the entire museum. And that is a train engine from the Armco Steel that closed back in the 1980s. Hey, we're coming up on that Washington County Fair. There goes another trolley that's on the line, and that car is from Philadelphia, PA. After we changed conductors, they decided to kick it up a notch. We are going about 25 miles an hour on this stretch of the track. Look at that kid's hair fly. This is the Pittsburgh 1711, classified as a more modern type of car. It traveled on the tracks from 1948 and was retired back in 1988.
So for as long as I can remember, when you would drive out into the Wexford area, you would see this building on the right-hand side of the road. It was a very small, you could tell it was a historical building, and it was called the Wexford Post Office. They have since moved that building from Wexford, and they donated it to the museum here, and you can see that it used to be the old trolley railroad station building.
Post office deli looked like back before it closed. I didn't realize it closed in 2014. This is what the building looks like today. Now, I've never been in the deli when it was working, but I always thought that building was really small. And once I go in here, I realize it was really small. Now, they've totally refurbished this, and these benches that you see are from another trolley station, and they've been totally refurbished and put into this building. On the walls, there is a little video that shows you what lengths they went to get this building from Wexford, which is a little shy of 45 miles from the Trolley Museum, and what it took to get that building here. They had to cut it in half and then put it all back together again. It was really interesting to watch how they did all of that. Next, I'm heading into this large warehouse that has at least 20 cars that you can explore. Can you believe trolleys actually started out as horse drawn cars? And over here is a track cleaner from the 1960s. Back then, it wasn't uncommon for Pittsburgh to receive several inches of snow throughout the winter. Thank God we don't get that anymore. There, you can feel free to explore any of the cars with the lights on. There's also a volunteer that will answer any questions that you may have, and take note of the advertising that you see inside these cars. Each one is unique and has its own story to tell. You might recognize this iconic trolley. It was acquired along with several other cars from New Orleans back in 1964. But what makes this trolley famous is it was in a role in the classic 1951 movie Streetcar Named Desire. Yep, this is the very trolley that was featured in that movie. So let's take a closer look and see what's inside. Check this out. There's a conductor station at both ends of the trolley. And if you have to stand, you would be holding onto these leather straps for balance. Now, imagine sitting in those wooden benches. They might look charming, but I don't think they were the most comfortable seats for a long ride on this trolley. This next trolley has an incredible story. It is the Jersey Shore and Antis Fort Number 3. Built way back in 1905, and it was retired from service in 1925. Made entirely of wood, it has a weathered look that tells you it's been through a lot. In 1972, it was caught in a hurricane, Agnes, which brought severe flooding to the eastern part of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. As you can see in these photos, the roof was peeled off and the entire car was washed downstream. But thanks to the hard work of dedicated historians, this fascinating piece of history was preserved. It was later discovered, restored as much as humanly possible, and finally donated to the museum here in 1999. This last car I want to share with you is quite a beauty. The executive private car called Toledo. Built in the early 1900s, you can tell just by looking at the exterior that it is something special with those stained glass windows and elegant wood trim. As soon as you step inside, you're taken back by the rich mahogany wood finish throughout the entire car. Just look at this lavish furniture, the attention to detail with the lighting, the brass hooks, and the ceiling. It even has a desk that they can work at while traveling. This car is equipped with a lavatory and a galley kitchen, even though I couldn't get a shot of that kitchen because else was in it. There is also comfortable seating up in the front, and check out those brass spittoons. This is a detail of true history.
Well, that was our tour of the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum. I found it extremely interesting. The staff here is amazing, and there's so many things to see. If you have young kids, this is definitely a trip worth going. The nice thing was this week, because of the Washington County Fair that I mentioned earlier, Cohen has subsidized the admission fees, and what was normally a $20 fee to get in was only $5. So I could spend the entire day here. I spent several hours here, but I could have ridden the trolley as many times as I liked, and really took it in, and there was just so many things to see. I think I covered it all. If you enjoyed this video, how about a like, a share, and maybe follow along with me on my ever-going adventures. There are so many things to do here in Washington County. I definitely will be coming back. So until next time, I hope you liked this video, and we'll see you again real soon.